after their victory last night in Tampa in overtime. Thanks for joining us. I'm Nicole Brady.
And I'm Brian Sanders, and good morning to you from Thunder Alley, which is much quieter this morning. In fact, it ended last night with a handful of Avs fans circled around saying, "We want the cup, we want the cup." So now it heads back to Denver. It's getting hot and humid. This is probably the hottest day so far, so no better time, Lisa, than to get back to Colorado, where we have cool mornings.
Get home. Yeah, yesterday we were looking at here highs in the 80s. Today is going to be a warm one, but we don't have to deal with the same kind of humidity, so it doesn't feel as hot as what Brian is seeing there. Beautiful start to our Thursday morning. Upper 60s right now. We're going to be in the 70s here in the 9 o'clock hour. Good looking pool forecast. Mid 80s by noon, low 90s by about 4 o'clock. Slight chance late day that we would see a little isolated activity when it comes to thunderstorms rolling off the foothills. Most of those mountain storms that we're going to see will be in the mountains. 60s and 70s in the high country today, primarily 90s for the eastern plains. Futurecast, you can see, gets a little more busy here this afternoon. We're going to start to see some of that monsoon moisture from some of that, what we've seen down across parts of the desert Southwest. That's going to move a little farther north here next few days. And there's a better chance of wet weather here in town this weekend. I'll get you the full game day forecast tomorrow and your Super 7 day coming up.
And we are still looking at huge delays out to the west side of town, so start thinking about alternate routes. 44th Avenue might be one of the better ones for us, heading out to through Wheat Ridge and getting through Arvada right now. It's all from this stepped over concrete mixer. Take a look from the camera there at I-70 in Wadsworth. You can see the concrete mixer right here, still on the side. Wheels are facing this way, and so they have to upright it and then haul it out of here, clean up the roadway and the damage that you can see. So just one lane is open. And look what it's doing to I-76. Look at the drive time at about an hour. Just super tight stop and go traffic in there. I-70 from Federal on over is really heavy, so any of these side roads are a better option. And there is a new crash there on Kipling right at about 44th, but it's mostly affecting the southbound lanes coming from I-70. You can see 225, that drive on I-25 Denver Tech Center. It's busy, but it's quiet. Nothing like we're seeing right now on I-70.
All right, let's go Avs. Look at that. You could see the Avs logo on the Republic Plaza building in downtown Denver overnight. We have team coverage this morning as the Avs now lead the Stanley Cup final 3-1. So Micah is already taking a look at how businesses are preparing for the Friday night crowds of hockey fans. Let's start with Brian in Tampa, though, because what a game. What a way to end it in Tampa.
Oh my gosh, yes, it had all the heroics that you would expect from a Stanley Cup final game, highs and lows emotionally, but it ended in the Avs' favor. An incredible finish to a 3-2 overtime win gives them a 3-1 series lead as they take it back to Ball Arena, but we'll walk you through some of the highlights from last night. Some spectacular and some strange moments too. A little rocky to start. It was only 36 seconds into the game that goalie Darcy Kemper's hat was knocked off and the Lightning scored first. But early in the second, Gabe Landeskog and Nate MacKinnon teamed up on a power play goal, and it was tied early in the third again with a shot that ricocheted off Andrew Cogliano's leg. In overtime, Nazem Kadri, who hasn't played in a game since June 4th, was able to sneak in the winning goal. He's been out after having surgery on his thumb and picked quite a moment for his comeback.
Roller coaster of emotions, just thinking I was done, and then having a sliver of hope, and sitting here right now it's kind of surreal. So I just was excited to join the team again and be in the dressing room, and this is what I've been waiting for my whole life.
Well, a little bit of controversy and heated emotions after the game. Lightning head coach John Cooper argued that the overtime goal shouldn't have counted, claiming the Avs had too many men on the ice as they were trying to make a transition, and that Nate MacKinnon had not made it to the bench. But after further review, the league officials and the 4 officials in the game confirmed that was not the case. So enthusiasm is high right now, both here for Avs fans and back in Colorado, and at McGregor Square and at Ball Arena, the big watch parties were packed. Avs fans are excited about the thought of hoisting the Stanley Cup on home ice now tomorrow night. We heard plenty of cheers as people were leaving the watch parties. Yeah, fans are excited. The whole city is excited. That includes our businesses who are looking forward to another night of celebrating. And Denver 7's Micah Smith joins us because one restaurant has turned to new technology to keep up with the big crowds.
Yeah, Brian. Tom's Watch Bar and Restaurant here in McGregor Square recently unveiled a robot server. Now, this robot can do a lot, including bringing customers' orders right to their tables. Tom's Watch Bar said, like many restaurants around here, they're experiencing a labor shortage. And when you add in all the extra business they're doing because of the Stanley Cup final, they need a little help. So that's where the robot comes in to help staff on days when the crowds are big and demand is high for food and drinks. We talked to Tom's Watch Bar operating partner Rafik Turkanovich while engineers were programming the robot, and we asked him, will this robot eventually replace human employees? He said absolutely not. This is not a cost-saving measure, but a tool to help their employees when the restaurant is packed like it was last night. We also asked Turkanovich if the robot will be able to move around on standing room only days, and his answer was yes.
We have pretty strict ADA regulations, and that robot essentially follows that lane, right? And it has great maneuvering capabilities. I believe it has a 180-degree radius, so it senses any kind of motion and change.
Now, Turkanovich says the restaurant is under a non-disclosure agreement with the company behind this technology, so we don't know who made the robot. We also don't know the robot's name. Turkanovich says that the employees have a competition going on right now where they will pick out that name. Now, if you want to see this robot in action, I've been told it is on the schedule for the remainder of the week. So if you plan to watch the game here at McGregor Square on Friday, you may have a robot serving up your food and drinks. Reporting live, Micah Smith, Denver 7.
Yeah, I think they're going to have to name the robot something Avs related. If you want to see Game 5 live in person, we checked Ticketmaster. The cheapest tickets are about $1,200 right now. That's before processing and fees. And keep in mind, these are tickets in the very top level. Denver 7 is your home for the Stanley Cup final. Our coverage of tomorrow's game starts early in the morning, and then, of course, our pregame show at 5:30 p.m. Puck drops at 6, and stick around for postgame coverage after. The mother of a man killed in Old Town Arvada last year is speaking out after filing a lawsuit against an Arvada police officer and the department's chief. Kathleen Boland says her son, Johnny Hurley, died because of unlawful use of deadly force. Hurley had used his own concealed weapon to shoot a gunman who had just killed Officer Gordon Beasley. Moments later, Hurley was shot and killed by Officer Greg Brownlow. The First Judicial District ruled Brownlow's actions were justified. The officer has since resigned from the department in good standing, but Hurley's mom wants changes in the policies of the Arvada Police Department.
They need to up their game. When people were allowed to carry concealed weapons, I'm sure that made things more difficult for the police. So they needed to, I don't know how their training may have been different to meet that new circumstance, but they need to announce themselves and give the Good Samaritan a chance.
In a statement, Arvada Police said they're not considering any changes to their protocols. The department said the lawsuit mischaracterizes and omits information and said it has the potential to compromise officer safety. Today, the community will honor the Glen Haven Volunteer Fire Department's Assistant Chief, John Jaros. He was killed in a deadly shooting along I-70 last weekend, believed to be connected to street racing. Jaros and his family were just driving and not involved in that racing, just caught in the crossfire. There will be a procession for Jaros today. It will pass by the Daniels Fire Station in Estes Park at 8:25 this morning. We're keeping an eye on prices at the pump this morning. AAA says Colorado's average is now $4.91 a gallon. That's down a penny from yesterday and 3 cents behind the national average. Today, the Energy Secretary will meet with the heads of all of the largest oil companies to talk about how they can increase production. The meeting comes hours after President Biden called on Congress to temporarily pause the federal gas tax of 18 cents a gallon. Democratic Senator Joe Manchin told ABC News he has several concerns with the proposal and signaled he would not support it. Senate Republican leader Mitch McConnell, meanwhile, called the proposal an ineffective stunt to mask the Democrats' war on affordable energy. And as we crank up the AC for summer, the surcharge coming for Xcel utility customers. Plus, the Avs are playing good and looking good while they do it. We'll show you how the team's sweaters have changed over the years and how you can vote on your favorite.